Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. Let's take a look at the chart. Start with the big picture. It was about 6-7 weeks ago we closed above this 4 or 5 month descending channel top that is now at 96.52, in which we then anticipated, it was a buy signal up to 150.57. We characterized it as a 3 to 5 month buy signal. But it's been more like 3 to 5 weeks, and we're well on our way to reaching it. And in fact, I can take a look at the same chart. You've got 134.83 as this sort of inside structure that may well contain selling on a weekly basis. 134.83 also lines up nicely right now with 134.65, which is this newly formed channel structure based in part on Monday's high. And so if Monday's high holds, the line across there holds, we can fall back perhaps to 134.65. I don't have an indication for that, just want you to know. And in fact, I might as well mention now that the indication for testing 134.65 would be a settlement today below 138.75. 138.75 is a respectable channel bottom in its own right. It is actually longer term than 143.65, but 143.65 is more horizontal. The more horizontal the line study, generally the better they work, and it correlates well with this structure that is longer term on the weekly chart at 134.83. But if we were to close today, for instance, below 138.75, we've got a good high for the week, 134.65. Then likely, I would say under that scenario by Friday's close, where we could bottom out through next week and round up again to new highs. Now, if you're able to buy 138.75, I think it's beyond a day tradable level. I do see it as a 3 to 5 day swing trade. Holding above 138.75 will keep us even closer to reaching our low 150s objective between now and the end of next week. And yesterday we also closed just above that 143.49 high from about a week and a half ago. That should instill some degree of follow-through buying. But the market's volatility is low right now. How soon, how long will it take to reach 150.57? This could spill well into next week. 150.57 would reach our objective. And so if you've been long for the last 3 to 5 weeks or the last 3 to 5 days, this is an area to respect for its ability to contain buying through the month of July, and we can fall away from here for weeks to follow. In fact, fall away from 150.57 back down to some variation of this 124.78 channel bottom. And I say some variation because if we happen to push through the low 150s just a little bit, this line study takes on a different angle. But for right now, it actually will work. We could test 150.57, fall away within 3 to 5 weeks to the 124.78 2-month channel bottom. We could fill this wedge out for a month or two before the market tips its hand one direction or another. Hard to say. I'd rather have the market tell us what its intention is, if you will. And if it closes above 150.57 at the end of a week, I don't see that this week, but if by the end of next week we are closing above 150.57, we enter another 2 to 3 month buy signal up to 172.99. And that once again could play out even more, 2 to 3 months, or it could be 3 to 5 weeks. Anyway, I see it. Closing above 150.57, the low 170s and climbing becomes our next 2 to 3 month target. Let's take a look again, kind of at the downside. 143.49 is a soft intraday pivot point. It really is a show of strength above it, but all of the minor points have been carefully chosen. 44.90, 47.22, 48.97. They can all contain intraday activity on the way up. I don't expect 150.57 today. I do think it is likely by the end of next week if we hold above 138.75. So this is your pullback support. It may actually be tested today below 143.49. 138.75 can contain daily, possibly selling through the rest of the week. And from here, we can round up by the end of next week to that 150.57 area. There's your 3 to 5 day swing trade right now. If we close below 138.75, we do have a good high for the week, but I would then only anticipate 134.65, where we could bottom out through next week. And this is your 2 to 3 week swing trade. So you could buy 134.65 as a 2 to 3 week week swing trade up into the low 150s. The inverse is also true. You can sell the low 150s expecting, I think it's more like the mid to upper 130s, and I could go into why, but this structure at 134.65 would change. You could draw the similar channel, but if we happen to push into the low 150s, the angle is steeper, and it still comes off that low, but it's more like in the upper 130s. Anyway, it's not going to happen today, but if we did close below 134.65, we've got a good high for the week, and into later next week, we test 124.78, which is a significant 2-month channel bottom, able to contain selling through July, and from there we can round up into the low 150s, as I said earlier, within 3 to 5 weeks. So we are close to reaching our low 150s objective. We should do so by the end of next week above 138.75, by the end of June above 134.65. It is about as simple as that, and anything in between, these are just, it's a very quiet market, and there is reason to stay long following yesterday's settlement above 143.49. Today, I'm always recording these the day before, right? On Tuesday, Wikistocks.com put out a stock pick on Lam Research. They're a semiconductor company or affiliated with semiconductors. Last week, Tempus AI, Adobe Systems, Dana Holdings. I could go on and on. We will by the end of day Thursday have done 5 stock picks in 2 weeks. We do daily triple Q, daily SPY analysis, weekly Apple stock analysis. You can see it all for free by going to wikistocks.com and taking advantage of our 5-day free trial. So go to wikistocks.com, fill out the payment gateway, and you're good to go. You'll have immediate access. The stock picks, we're always looking for at least 20% returns on the underlying stock if we happen to get that stock pick. If we happen to get the buy signal. And we always present stocks that are on the edge, just very close to eliciting those signals. So you don't have to wait weeks and weeks generally. It's usually just a matter of days before it's triggered. And then it's a go-long strategy, 3 to 5 weeks, out to 3 to 5 months, depending. Each stock is a little different. So check us out at wikistocks.com. I will, of course, be back tomorrow with Thursday's NVIDIA report. Did I just say it was Thursday? Anyway, no. I'm going to leave it at that. You have a great evening.